Good morning. Now, I know what you're all thinking. Why the huge bag? All will become apparent shortly. Now, sleeping bags. Funny subject for when you're doing camping of any type, on the cheap especially. Some people really feel the cold. Others sleep very, very warm and don't need as much. And the trouble is, to get a really good sleeping bag, you need to pay really good money. If space is an issue, really you're looking at down bags, and you can pay 100, 200, whatever. They are nice, they are warm, they squish down small, but way off the budget for a lot of people. So I've just brought out the ones that I use. Now, I use these all year round. No winter bag here. I'll explain why in a minute. But as you can see, they vary in size, they vary in weight, and they vary in price, to be honest. But there's nothing here that's silly money. Just to run through what we got. I've got the Euro Hike 300 Adventurer, 3-season bag, although I only use it in the winter because I find it just so warm. But there again, I am on the south coast. You've got to bear that in mind. It's not going to be the same in North Wales or Scotland or whatever. But that's my winter bag, really. I've got a cheap and very old regatta envelope style bag, which I've had since, let's have a think, 1997, I think. In 1997, I camped right around Scotland with that, but it was in the summer. I wouldn't have done it in the winter. The Dura 2, the most expensive bag I've got, and probably the most practical bag I've got. It probably packs down the smallest. I can compress it more than that. Some great features, which we'll have a look at in a minute, but the price jumps up. Still not silly money. I think they are currently about 55, 60 pounds, roughly, that sort of money. But you do get a lot for your money with that. So, just depends on your budget. I've got a very lightweight, is that the one? No, it's the M1. This is not the lightweight, although it is lightweight. Bit of a left of field choice. Poncho liner, which I'll come back to. This is the light one. Very light. It's not in a stuff sack rather than a compression sack. If you put it in a compression one, you could make it really small. And it's a real cheapie. That's an eBay special. Cost me about a tenner, but it is useful in some situations. So I'll go ahead, I'll get them out, and then I'll bring you back, because you don't want to just sit there watching me pulling bags out, straighten them and whatever's. See you in a minute. Oh, right, where were we? I've had to take my jacket off, it's getting really warm. Yes, Euro Hike. I mean, you can see it's only been out the stuff sack for a minute or so, and it's lofting up already. It really is lovely to sleep in this, really cosy. I have done a separate video on this, so I won't go into all the details of the bags, but For me, winter time only. Interestingly enough, I think it's in the top here, yeah. In the spec thing, the comfort -3 to +3. That is about right. That is the sort of temperatures I would use it in. Extreme, -19. Forget that. -19, when you see these extreme end of the scale, that just basically means you probably, and I mean probably, won't die. Forget that one. The comfort is the interesting thing. -3 +3, about right. But interestingly also, they show a maximum of 23°C. If it's above about 5 degrees, I'm cooking in this. I would imagine at 23, I'm probably in as much danger as I would be at -19. So yeah, I don't get how they do these ratings sometimes. I'm sure they just think of a number. But for around freezing temperature, that is my choice. The good old Dura 2, the one that comes out of me just about every time, to be honest. You've probably all seen them, loads of reviews online, done a couple myself. Just a good all-round bag. I think the central zip is a brilliant idea. I know it's designed for hammock camping, but there's no reason you can't use it for every other reason. I do. It's absolutely fine. Makes no difference where the zip is in that sense. I would say that they say it is, well, they don't give it a season, but they say they comfort it down to -5. Not for me. This is meant to be -3, and this is way warmer. So I'm not -5 in this. This, I would say, is a 3-season bag for me. Waterproof foot box. I get where they're coming from with the hammock camping, but I've never had to use it in its true use. You know, stepping out on damp ground and so on. I tend to just throw it in the hammock, unzip it, and just get in it. With a central zip, it's easy. So I think in some ways that's a little bit gimmicky. It also adds weight, and it doesn't obviously compress like the soft fabric because it's like that Oxford nylon. I think personally, if DD brought out this bag slightly warmer and without this, so it was just normal sleeping bag full length down, keeping a central zip, you know, probably a, I don't know, should we say -5, -7 rating, it would be an awesome bag. That's my only real reservation to this one. The foot box I think is a bit pointless, and yeah, I'm not with them on the temperature. But don't let me put you off. Great bag, it's the one I use the most. The good old Regatta. Although it's ancient, I do occasionally use it still in the summer. I don't think there's even a temperature rating or anything on that. It was probably made before they even did such things. I like it because it's fairly roomy. It's not too warm for summer use, and with the zip going right the way round, being an envelope type one, you can open it out into just like a blanket if you don't want to be shut in and it's, you know, really warm. So you can just use it as a top cover like a quilt. The only reason I really keep that one. And the cheapie. Now, this doesn't come out too often either, but I like it. I really like it for a cheap bag. Again, I don't think there was even a season rating or anything on it. If there was, they were probably lying. It's a bit of a weird one because it's an envelope bag shape, square bottom. but it's got a mummy hood, which I actually quite like. Gives you plenty of leg room at the bottom. Still got the mummy hood. I do like the hooded ones because I tend to put my pillow into the hood, use the old cinch cord just to trap the pillow in place, and it stops it, you know, slipping and sliding and disappearing in the night. Keeps your pillow in place. So I do like a hood. And again, because the zip's right round, you can open it out and use it as a blanket. And the last one, which I'm going to put over here, I'll run it through, is the poncho liner. Again, on its own, it would be summer only. It is just like a big blanket, so you can use it as that. You can also, of course, wrap it around your shoulders if you're chilly in the evening around a fire or whatever. But it's got drawstrings all around it for tying it into the poncho. If you gather one end up when it's folded in half, tie the middle ones, tie the top ones, you've essentially got a improvised sleeping bag. And in summer temperatures, it's more than enough. Packs down quite small, as you can see, and I had it packed up earlier. It's quite light, certainly as light as this is. Temperature wise, I'd imagine they're probably about the same. So for summer camping, they both work well. But as I said, no winter bag. Not proper winter bag, because this doesn't really count. Not for most people, in most situations. So, I'll show you what I do if it gets really cold. Silly cold. I'll pause you again there. There's my winter sleeping bag. An idea nicked straight from the military. The Dura 2, inside the lightweight summer bag. I do that if it's going to be ridiculously cold, or midwinter with the hammock, because hammocks can be a bit chilly and I don't have an under blanket, mainly because I'm too tight to buy an under blanket. So you just make do. 1 3-season bag, inside a summer bag, the extra layer, trapping the extra heat. I've comfortably gone -5 and below, not an issue. I could do the same with the cheap regatta over the top of this, although it doesn't stay in place quite so well because it hasn't got the mummy hood. With these two, with them both having mummy hoods, you know, you can go one inside the other, then pull down the cinch cord on the outer one and it gathers it, keeps them together. Also with the poncho liner tied up in the bag configuration, stick that over a 3-season bag, toasty warm. In fact, I've never done it, but I dread to think if I did it with this one. Because the rating on that, down to -3 for comfort, is about right. I'm quite happy to go that sort of temperature with this bag alone. To put the poncho liner or the summer bag over the top of this, I don't know. I would imagine I would probably be okay in the -10 region, for me personally. Obviously everyone is different, and the other thing to take into consideration, of course, is where you're camping. Is it exposed? Is it, you know, open, windy? Wind chill's going to make a big difference. But if you're in a tent, or you know, a really nice bivvy sort of setup where you're sheltered, this little kiddie and an outer bag, yeah, -5, -10, I'd do it, no worries. So there you have it. It doesn't have to be expensive, but to be honest, sleeping bags are something that you shouldn't really cut corners if you're going somewhere that you know it's going to be extreme in the winter time. You know, I'm thinking Dartmoor, Wales, you know, probably the Lake District at some of the higher altitudes, Scotland, that sort of thing. If you're going to do it, really bite the bullet and get a good bag. At a pinch, when it's cold, this system works. It's going to take up more room and it's going to be heavier than a proper down sleeping bag. But hey, if that's what the budget stretches to, doesn't mean you can't go out in the cold weather. Although saying it at the moment seems ridiculous because it is gorgeous in this sun. We're only in March and it is really warm and not a cloud in the sky. I suppose this is the reward after all them months of rain. Right, enough of me waffling. I've got to pack this bloody lot up again. I'll see you all soon. What should we do next? What's the next wild camping on the cheap video? Tents. I might do a tent one. Stand by, I'll do that at some point. Catch you soon, folks. Thanks for watching.